looks like Alan Cooper, and I hope you're okay, Alan. I genuinely do, because great shame not to see you here, because you've got the most impressive picture going over the mountain here. So Richie Welsh learns at 250, don't get off the line, quite the way at 400. Exactly how to get a 250 off the line, and away he goes, leading the way up through Coppers. Great fun, that corner, these little TZRs. You just knock it back and cog it, chuck it in, and use the camber to work it. Brilliant fun. Over the top they go, back towards you, Bradley.
Absolutely right, Cadwell leads the way from Ball and Jeff Mick, I believe that was, and they're looking for the renter race there. I believe it's coming under pressure now from Damien Lee. That's for 6th and 7th place there, but everybody through safely this time around. The field rounded out by number 20, Sarah Osterholzer, who's going from strength to strength with every track that we go to this year. And race leaders making their way around Chris Keller then and heading towards the gooseneck at a rapid rate of knots. Now, those dark clouds ahead, they are still overhead, but thankfully, at least this part of the circuit, we've got no rain. As Kev Woolley leads the pack now in towards Mansfield for the first time of asking. Then Richie Welsh in 4th place ahead of Damien Lee. Then it's Mark Haig up next ahead of Richard Hayward. Dennis Hill, Dan Goff. And I believe that's the number 52 machine of Andy Flux, the man from Chatham, up next. But they're through the chicane now, underneath the bridge and heading back towards the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, pretty much strung out already, actually. There weren't any great close battles there. Obviously, Richie's going to find his way around on the outside. Yeah, yes, so on the back, Richie. Big kind of player, like I said, he's got a tumble he does get some lap times in. This cloud's looking threatening. The tyres these guys are on, Pete, are they okay for the rain? If it's something, get something down for to sort of rubber? There's a lot of them are on slicks, aren't they?
No, they're all on slicks. I mean, you've got lots of R11s and very super courses. It's probably the slickiest one out there. Yeah, I mean, I guess they can still work in the
and it was David Ball looking very threatening, mate. Is he managed to carry out that threat?
Not yet, it has to be said. They are going side by side there, and we'll go out of sight momentarily while they're into the braking zone 4-part corner. Now, Richie Welsh, got number 86, it's up there in the 3rd place now, and there's a small amount of clear track in front of him, so it'll be interesting to see what Richie Welsh can do. And I say there's a small amount of clear track in front of him while he's closed that up rapidly with his right rear wheel. Go on.
Sorry, we've got rain very heavily down here. I don't know if you've got anything where you are, but it's bucketing down here. There's nothing right, it's working overtime.
Nothing here at the moment.
It's just remarkable how we get in the gap here, but you don't get up there. And the flags are out down the bottom of the mountain here, so this race will continue, because these boys, they're not like these sort of people who need to. Oh boy, Woolley, big slide from him as was very clearly down the bottom there. Obviously the lack of adhesion flags go out, but I think that's a slightly redundant move, really.
Oh yeah, we've got rain here now.
Yeah, okay, it's the whole track then. So these guys went out, it was lovely, bright, sunny, and I did wonder about those clouds coming over, and yeah, they have definitely come out. So we ain't going to be seeing a lap record anytime soon, that's for sure. I think David Ball's 105 on the first sector is going to be the best of the race. So we'll wait to see as a short, sharp shower, hopefully. Be interested to see if anybody comes into the pits here as well, because obviously some people might go, oh, I don't want to play this kind of game. But like Welsh, no.
But yeah, I think Welsh has made a bit of an ambitious move at the inside of Ball, I believe it was.
Rugby Ball, mate, because Ball's leading the race.
Oh, really?
For line nearly a second ahead of Woolley, who's moved in 3rd. There goes Richie in 4th place. Also over at the moment. Obviously, the first time out in the wet on this bike will be a real novelty for him. Damien Lee's over the line next as well. Damien obviously got some seriously good track time a little bit earlier. There goes Dan Hillel. This is the sort of conditions that don't experience the pain nicely. And Ken Marshall up to 7th place. There with Robin Kevin. That's one of the highs. And this is Richie. His lovely grandchildren will be going mad up there, I think, and thinking, hold on to that. Hamilton makes up 4 places. Haig unfortunately goes back a couple on the unstability machine. Turner making up a couple. Chopping and changing here all over the place, mate. 100 plus of both a handful of places as well. So definitely nothing set in stone here at the moment as we wait for the leaders to rejoin us. Are they up the gooseneck about now, mate? Or have they got that there yet?
So they're right as you said that. The race leaders, as you very correctly said that, make their way down from the gooseneck in towards Mansfield Centre. It is ball from Woolley. Next up is Mook ahead of Ricky Welsh, and it's all spread out there between second, third and fourth. Damien Lee inside the top five there on that blue machine with the illuminated yellow wheels. And you mentioned Richard Hayward dropping a load of positions there. He was going very slowly on the previous lap on the run down from the gooseneck in towards Mansfield. But the top four, as you were, next up is going to be 6th, 7th and 8th. Now I'm watching Cadwell now ahead of Kev Marshall, who's coming under pressure there. Was that John Hamilton who came across the line in 8th place the last time around there?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, John Hamilton up into 7th place now, ahead of the 46 of Kev Marshall. As they tip in, I say tip, as they
Won't finish the word, mate.
they tiptoe into the chicane there.
We've lost another 84 machine of Bert Helston up there at the Chris Curve somewhere, and as soon as this started and stopped, we also had the number 67 machine of Bailey come into the pits here as well. So David Ball now over the line there, complete lap number 3. He's got almost a second gap over Kev Woolley. The thing is, Kev Woolley doesn't need to win this race. Kev Woolley knows that full well. Jeff Mook there in third, Ricky Welsh hanging on for fourth, so we've got a bit of a gap back before we get to Damien Lee on the familiar little blue bike. Because if we look at the points, it's being led at the moment by 143 points by Kev Woolley over David Ball. So we'll say though, these guys have still got 350 points on the board after this particular race, because as Pete just mentioned, these guys will be back here in Cadwell in a month's time. So again, we're running the slip race here for the pair of them. The rest of the race with 9th place showing us third of the club. And again, I'm sure Mark's not a club as well. I'll let you sort that one out a little bit later. This is full machine of Holt comes across the line there, makes up a couple of places, past and drop it down. Changes down through the field. So Elton's retired there, Bailey's retired as well. So it's two riders. We'll still have Nigel Terry. Is he still out there? Is he retired as well? Certainly not featuring on the timing screen in any way, shape or form as well. So this is one of those races of attrition as Buxton Hayward. Richard Hayward clearly not getting all these conditions. We used to see Richard in the podium positions as well.
Yeah, he's not enjoying himself, is he?
He does not look like a happy panda, does he? If somebody told me you can stay out there and pick up 2 points, you can go over to a nice warm caravan. I think you're probably looking at the caravan option right there. So the rain restarts down here as well, and this makes possibly the most miserable race we've seen so far. But I can see blue skies over above you, I think, Bradley.
You say that, but it's still raining in this end. It's, it's a bit heavier than I like this, but not quite rain. It's,
definitely got rain here, mate. Yeah, no. My nice new ribbon vertical jacket will be definitely getting put on for the ride home in these conditions, that's for sure. Definitely. Like bargain basement stuff, that is a mere £400 for a 2-hour lamination jacket. That's just amazing value, it really is.
Now it's latching itself here. It's really coming down now. I can hear it through the headphones. I can hear it on the top of the commentary box here. But the rain really comes down into the circuit now, which will make it a little bit difficult to see out of the window here. But that's nothing compared to how difficult it will make it for these guys out on the circuit. Now David Ball still leads Kev Woolley, and they keep taking a look over their left shoulder every time they exit the start is 2 here. Not that they'll see much, because there's a whole load of clear track before we see the number 57 machine of Jeff Mook. Jeff Mook, what's that, around about 3 or 4 seconds or so ahead of Richie Welsh on bike number 86.
4 seconds ahead, according to the timing screen here, mate. Yeah, it's up. Matt just pointed out something interesting, is the amount of spray coming off the tyres. Even these little 250s, they've not got fat roll on. So there's big chunks of spray coming off of these guys, and that was the difference when we were looking at the bikes a bit earlier. Down on the CC machines, there was not a drop spray up in here, but these little 250s are leaving a bit of a cloud behind them as the rain continues to pour down. So there's definitely no doubt about tyres for the next race.
Well, Kev Marshall and John Hamilton are still having a good old battle here, and that'll be a respectful 6th place ahead of John Hamilton in the 7th. Mark Haig and Dennis Hillel up next. And then we have the power valve of number 54, John Hold. It is, yes, John Hold, the man from Sunderland, up next on the number 54 blue machine. And as Pete mentioned earlier on, that is the RD350 power valve ahead of Colvin Turner and then Dan Goff. But what the race way down from barn any moment now, I'm sure.
Once the engine negotiate all the way through the whole bend, I think it will be.
I think it'll be safer to get off and push it around there. It gets a bit slippy, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, Morgan Creasy's ain't wasn't too slippery through the trees, but I'm thinking the Morgan Creasy's version of slippery and other people's versions of slippery might vary somewhat. And as Pete was just saying, I think with YPM, certainly back when we used to race together, was that you kind of ran the same tyre, wet or dry, so if it started raining halfway through a race, just got on with it really. And obviously a lot of these guys looked at the weather and thought, well, we can go out on the rally and things like that, so if it's raining, there's no point in stopping or pulling in, so I think that's why we've only seen. Oh, there we go, that's Richie, isn't it? Oh, I think that's Richie giving the airbag vest a bit of a workout there. Richie wearing his airbag vest. Fortunately for him, he's slid gently across the grass and his bike, or Dougie's bike I should say, has found its way to the barriers, not too heavily fortunately, but Richie is up, he's perfectly okay. I do know that the Richie World Fan Club will be listening up there, and cursing his luck unfortunately, but hitting wet grass is not the most painful thing to do, it's just one of the most annoying things to do. But Richie is walking along the barrier, he's climbing over the barrier. Somebody should have told him another 10 feet here there's a gap in the fence. But he should know his way around this place well enough to know every single gap and every single fence. That's a great game. Good points scored, but good news to Damien Lee and everybody else behind him. And best of all, I think I have to say, that moves Kev Marshall up into 5th place overall. And Kev looks good for a gold medal in the Commons there. That'd be a great result for Kev, wouldn't it?
That was on lap 5. It means that it's still in the first part of the race, so he's not going to get anything in the second half of the race either. And that's the goal, that's what the race. And you might only know that you're going to take the race by default.
I know we were speculating a bit earlier, if you win the first half of the race, if you blow up on lap 7 and you'll score a nil plus, on what would have been your slowdown lap. It's kind of one of those things though, isn't it? But if we look at our watches, we can see it's 4:45 already, and even with a reduced format, so we would definitely have, I think we'll be having some carryover races. So what's the general feeling in the paddock about the change format, Pete?
Well, from what I know, all the class reps were spoken to, and they went round to the riders, and I think the vast majority was taking that option because the red people certainly up towards the high echelons of the championship, they wanted that option of getting 50 points. So, I'm not saying it's not a bad choice, I'm just saying this is just one of those circumstances that happens to now work out in the second part of the race.
Now, of course, that is the nature of the beast of racing, isn't it? Sometimes it works for you, sometimes it works against you. Some days you're the fun, some days you're the windscreen. That's pretty much it. Right, having a long look over his shoulder, Jeff Luke, wondering where the rest of the children are. On your right, you're 14 seconds behind the leaders. David Ball at the moment. David Ball, has been racing for a long time at quite a high level as well. A former lap record holder, came over the 400 back with 400s to the British level as well. So a very, very quick rider this day. And clearly used that experience to good. But Kev Woolley, I guess, won't be pushing on too hard in these conditions because there's nothing to lose, basically. Because, as you say, if you go splat in this particular race, then you've potentially lost 50 points. But as it stands at the moment, they've come across the line, completed the halfway, so technically that is a win there for David Ball, so 25 points, 20 for Kev Woolley, so it does close the gap by a little bit. Kev Marshall comes across the line. Mark Hayes there, separated by 4/10 of a second in back. That is, it says club, and I'm sure that Mark Hayes covers his round record.
Racing in 2021, and he's not done full seasons, he's still been laying out really, so he's a good one.
Oh, okay, cool. It's just I see the beast in his name a lot, maybe he's a little brilliant, fair play. Okay, so there's a straight fight to the club, it's about battle there, and John Hamilton's only a few tenths of a second, so basically those three are covered by about less than 7/10 of a second. Ken Hill, not a man who's been around for a long time without any question whatsoever, so I remember him racing 25 years ago. He's going hard with Colbert Turner there. Everybody moves up the place there. The rain has now stopped and the sun is starting to come out, but that could be a very temporary fixture. Well, Richie there at the side of the track. He's going to be riding home with the van of the shame. Piloted today by two. Well, if you get the one van, you're piloted by two ex-YPM racers, or current YPM racers, and if you get the other there alongside Steve. So plenty of YPM sympathy votes inside the bands. Right, where are we? 7 laps into the race as the leaders make their way up towards you, Bradley, and I think this is looking very good for David Ball at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. He's just making his way out of Charlie's now and takes a look over his left shoulder, and there's a bit of a gap between himself and Cadwell that has opened up now. They're through the different up towards the other side then, in towards Park Corner. And looking across the circuit then for third place rider at the moment. David Ball there. Looks like Richard Hayward is just behind him. Of course, a lap down there unfortunately. But there is, Jeff Mook. My apologies there, Jeff. It's number 57 machine just making his way through the sit down part straight there. And up towards the other side at Park Corner as well. But race leaders through Chris Curve and heading towards the goose egg. But you're right, the rain has cleared now. And I'm looking straight in front. I can get a clear view of the windmills. And to my left hand side, where we seem to be getting the cloud from, it's relatively blue with white clouds. So it's all good in the North in the order. Fourth place there for Damien there, isn't it? Ahead of still Ken Marshall with fifth place Keith. Sorry.
No, actually, Mark Hay just took Kev Marshall over the line, so he should be going around here in the lead. In the Cookman.
Yeah, got both here and Kev Marshall. In fact, has managed to retake that one. So Kev Marshall ahead of Mark Hay now. They're coming down the back straight in front of me. Dennis Hill a little way behind that battle with John Holt further around about 3 or 4 seconds behind Dennis Halil. But that certainly seems to be the battle to keep an eye on as they make their way up towards Park Corner. Is that one between the blue 46 of Kev Marshall and the number 100 race Mark Hay. And it's just about to see them in the distance there as our race leaders make their way towards your end of the circuit there, Pete. But I'll keep a close eye on this Cookman battle for sure.
Well, yeah, definitely. Let's see another little stat for that. If you look at currently at the speeds I'm looking at, but Kev Marshall and John Holt, those big people at the top of the Cookman, people back there just maybe approaching 140. So that's pretty decent, right?
Yeah, definitely. But Kev Marshall then still leads the way ahead of Mark Hay as they go in towards Mansfield. And looks like I've got a rider on the inside of the chicane, then a retirement, I suspect a lap or two ago, as our race leaders come back in front of me now through the different up towards Park Corner once more. David Ball and Kev Woolley. How many laps have we got left there, sorry?
It's saying David Ball has just gone over and made a small laps to go.
Nice one. So, yeah, that was Cookman battle there then towards your end of the circuit, over the top of the mountain, and in towards Ball Bends there. Very treacherous, especially in these conditions. But it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out over the following 4 laps. As Jeff Booth, third place in the race at the moment for the number 57 machine, is just going up towards Park Corner as we speak. But it's a lonely ride for a lot of these guys. David Ball just about holds on to, what's that, around about half second, 3/4 of a second advantage over Kev Woolley as they go into Mansfield this time around.
Yeah, I mean, the time board here is saying he's got 2.4 seconds, I believe, over Kev. Kev Marshall just come over the line, and it's probably a second or so back with Mark Hay. So Kev is regaining the lead in that movement. It's amazing. John Holt is going to the line too, so I don't know, he just moves them down. I'm not sure, but he's held his own there. He's doing really well. This is amazing.
We'll definitely keep an eye on that one there. I can see the green flag as Charlie's won there. I'm not sure what's going on the cockpit. I can't quite see the flag point there, but
Damien Lee is... Oh, Damien Lee is gone.
Damien Lee... I can see him right there on the other side of the barrier there from the racetrack, just watching the race from what is quite a good vantage point in all honesty, but I don't believe that's Damien Lee there at the chicane, as that battle between Kev Marshall and Mark Hay races past me once more. But that's right, I think it's still in there on doing a bit of paperwork trying to get on top of it. I think it could be Popper's best challenge one, which could be where Damien Lee's gone. And I tell you what, that's Kev Marshall, he's on before. And you can answer this one. Has Kev Marshall won the Clubman race before? You have to go back a long way in history. I genuinely don't think so either. I'm going to say at this race he could actually be, yeah, well, we'll wait and see. We've still got 3 laps left to go in the race.
as we see Ball and Woolley go across the line. Jeff Booth looking very safe. I don't want to take anything away from Jeff, to be fair, so I don't think he's going to get caught, but Jeff is looking pretty solid there, and let's be fair, he's going a little bit quicker than Kev, but yeah, fourth place overall on the club with Kev Marshall. Absolutely brilliant. Well, we'll wait to see. I need to sort out some other things for you guys as well before you run away as well. And 27 machine, Richard Hayes goes to the Richard supposed to be Richard that far down actually, because Richard is one of those guys who's kind of there or thereabouts. He's been on the podium quite a few times, and in fact, if I remember rightly, yeah, he picked up a second place earlier this year, lots of fourth places there pretty much every round we go to. So to see Richard that far back, Daniel Lee doesn't make any mistakes. He's actually been very consistent all year. He's missed every single race. The only other person who can lay claim to that is the championship leader, Kev Woolley. David Ball's certainly DNF'd in a couple of events here. So unfortunately, as far as consistency goes, David, there's that kind of job. The consolation prize is Richard Hayes not going to pick up a whole lot of points, and he's the one who's behind you in the championship at the moment. Obviously, Alan Cooper wasn't too far off the moment. Of course, Alan Cooper is out at the moment as well. So it's all to play for there as they come across the line with let's see, 3 laps still to go. It's waiting for the leader, David Ball, to come out of Barn Corner, which will be doing very shortly indeed. They're going to have another back marker to contend with, because Sarah Osterholzer is over the line, and Sarah's in a very respectable 13th place. First of the rookies, not that there's a lot of competition for that at the moment, but nonetheless, you can only beat who shows up as David Ball comes to the line. But look at Woolley now. Yeah, I think he's got to give it up on this one. He doesn't lose any more. So over the line, separated by a second at that time. Kevin a little bit quicker than David, but not a race winning advantage at the moment, as Damien Lee goes tumbling down the order there as we'd expect. And now Kev Marshall's managed to put Den Halil between himself and the second of the Clubman riders, and that's John Hull. That's a new name to us, Pete. Do we know John Hull?
Yeah, John, he's actually from Newcastle. He knows Mr. Armstrong from ARD Racing. So, yeah, he's been with us quite a while, but John's just a couple of weeks ago. He's been from my time in the bar. He's only 70 years of age, so, you know, he's second place. Marshall's in first. This has been incredible for these two guys.
Yeah, right. So if you're standing there on the side of the track going, I'm too old to do this, you know, here's the trump card. You say 140 years ago. I thought he was joking, but no, of course, he obviously, because Ever-Evan Kevin ain't going to see his 60th birthday again, is he? So, yeah, no fair play to the pair of them. And first and second, that's got to be some sort of club record, you know. It's supposed to be going for over 110 years, and to have the average age or the combined age of the first and second in a race to be 140, that's got to be a world record somewhere, hasn't it, Pete?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think we've seen that before, so this will be great. But yeah, the thing is about these positions, I know I was saying it's a nostalgic thing for us. We used to do this all the time, but we were used to it. These guys are tuned in to running on wets, and that's why you see the likes of Richard Hayes. He's not running around in these conditions on dry tyres. He's got a sparkling bike. He didn't want to just add the scenery to this. He wants his wet. Taking his back, his wet did not have it. I can guarantee it.
Well, there we go. We'll declare the winner where the race boy went out. So, you know, you had the option. And we've seen some interesting tyre choices throughout the day, and obviously seen some race results based on those tyre choices as well. But to give you an idea of where we were, how the rain has affected things, a very heavy rain. The fastest lap of the race is showing to David Ball, but that was on the second lap of 57.956. The circulating the rest of the race around about 12 seconds a lap, the last lap goes out, and Kev Woolley is now 1.8 seconds behind, as David actually sets the PB in these kind of conditions, I think, with that 210. Can't really confirm, but those two are absolutely flying compared with the rest. Again, it might be a tyre thing, because David's done a 210, Kev's done a 211, everybody else is going to look at 218, 220, so there's a big old gap there, that's for sure. But again, age, consistency, experience might count for a lot. Unfortunately, I'm seeing Kev Marshall go down the order there, so I don't think we've lost Kev somewhere around the circuit. That would be a great shame. It really would, when he's on his best ever result, just watching them come across the line there, because John Hull has indeed taken the Clubman lead. I hear a bit of chatter on the radio, can't quite pick up. That's what we need to get you, Brad. We need to get you a bow phone so you can listen in the background there, mate.
I've got one, it's at home. Which is, yeah, my mistake there. But I'm just keeping an eye around the circuit there, and I can't see anything anything on this end of the circuit, in all honesty, that may relate to whereabouts the number 46 of Kev Marshall is at the moment, but it's a great shame if that is the case there, Kev. So the race leaders into the bottom of the mountain then, there's David Ball ahead of Kev Woolley there, and I don't think Kev's close enough to mount a challenge in the closing stages of this race. Now it seems that I was watching number 73 Colvin Turner for the last couple of laps there, and he kept past me with his visor up, so potentially even a few visor issues here for Colvin Turner as well.
That can happen to anybody really, as you said before. If you lift your visor and it's wet and get the old pinlock down, it does not do you any favours whatsoever. Right, so it's getting very confusing. I'm glad we've got the computer scoring there to tell us who's doing what. Certainly a race for Tricia will be showing us half hours of bikes is retired, but the one bike most certainly is not retired, and that is David Ball. Well, I hope he is, because here he comes towards the line. Oh, hang on a minute, side by side, that's a back mark I was going to say. I thought it was Kev Woolley who suddenly got alongside of him. No, it is indeed David Ball taking a very convincing win. It's 2:08.9, it's around about a second and a half so quicker than Woolley on that lap, so very convincing win. And we're just going to wait to get the minor placings, but it looks as though I'm not going to call the ball till he actually makes it to the line, mate. We've seen so many people, unfortunately. Basically, if you finish this race, you're going to be inside the top 10. Andy Flux is inside the top 10. That's our lower end of the scale, shall we say. Richard Hayward in a very unfamiliar fifth there. Kev Marshall, unfortunately, looks like he's retired at the pits. I'm so disappointed with that, I really am. It's such a shame to see that, unfortunately. I think he would have probably picked up some points though in the Clubbins the first half of the race, so he's got that double race thing going on. Anyway, there goes Dan Goff across the line. He's in 8th place. We're just waiting for Jeff Moon. Jeff coming across the line very slowly. Sits up, acknowledges. I don't think he has any idea where he's finished. It's often like that way, particularly when it's very similar conditions. We've got no idea. I remember coming in from a race here with the 400s and thinking that I finished absolutely nowhere in the way, and I actually finished second in the race behind the Colonel. It was just so confusing with